development and workforce development for the past 25, 30 years, whatever it is. And Mike, just from your point of view, we can go ahead and get this thing started moving. What are your eyes seeing from the perspective of workforce development with what you're involved in?
What I see, some of the things that I hear from our local manufacturing companies and construction companies and even retail companies to a certain extent. Of course, the number one thing is nobody has ever told me they can get enough people to pass the drug test. They never say, man, we just had so many people pass the drug test, we don't know what to do. That's always an issue, and that's nationwide from what I hear, because I do deal with a lot of companies on the national level and international level. One of the things we've done locally to try and combat that is we've established Drug-Free Ashley County. That is a coalition of businesses and institutions that are working on a countywide level to educate parents what to look for with their students, their children, their young adults. They're also working with law enforcement and drug courts to try and make sure that people show up for the meetings that they're supposed to show up for, the programs that they're supposed to go to. They try to make sure that people are doing that, provide support for that. And then, of course, they have done things as crazy as Narcan training, how to administer it, when to administer it, to try to save the lives of people who maybe have overdosed. But it's just still amazing to me. And there's a lot of mixed messages in this world, as we all know, about everything, but especially around drugs. Is it okay? Is it not okay? What's considered a drug? What's not? Our kids, our young adults are very confused, I think, from the messaging that they're getting. And so Drug-Free Ashley County is working to try to get that message out there, to try to be a consistent voice and to try to combat that in any and every way possible. Some of the other things that we heard loudly from especially our manufacturing people, is related to skill sets, how to train, how to get people to a level where when they walk through the door, they're productive. We've hit that from several different directions. One, we established a FAME program here in Crossett. And it was actually, there were participants outside of Crossett that were involved in the FAME program. And that allows students to work 24 hours a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and go to school on Tuesday and Thursday, actually sit in the classroom. And that was the curriculum was developed through a very collaborative effort with industry. It was developed so that when that completer finished the program, they actually walked out with an associate's degree in advanced manufacturing. That allowed the industry to have direct input with the instructors. The instructors were all hired from industry. So they got direct input from industry about what needed to be addressed. And at the end of the program, the people who finished had a guaranteed job with the company that they were apprenticed through, basically. It's basically almost an apprenticeship program. And that really, again, was driven strictly out of the needs of the local industries and what they saw would benefit their workforce. From an industry perspective, it was funded by industry. Industry paid all the tuition. They paid for the worker when they were at work. But it allowed those industries that participated, instead of each one having to train their own, you had one set of instructors that worked across all those industries to try and provide that training. And again, they all had input on what kind of curriculum, what was included in the curriculum for those employees. And that really was a great program. It really it involved our high school, it involved our local community college, and it involved industry HR people, the industry training experts. And it's really a great program that really benefits, I think, everyone. We've also, in an effort to help guide our high schools and to try and guide our local technical school, we became part of the ACT Work Ready Communities program. We all know ACT from testing. And this ACT Work Ready Communities program, we work with industries, we work with our high school, we work with the high school in Hamburg, here in Ashley County, work with the high school in Crossett, we work with our community college, our local Crossett UAM CTC, to get people tested. And from an industry perspective, if they hit platinum or gold, you knew they were in the top echelon of your workforce. The student, on the other hand, was able to look at those testing and see where they needed to improve. If they scored something low, a silver or bronze in math, they knew they needed to go back and be tutored in math or take some type of math at the college to improve their skills. And then they could retake the test. So that allowed the student to know where their weaknesses were. It allowed the schools, the high school, the technical school to say, hey, maybe we need to do something a little different. If they saw a trend among a bunch of students that just weren't getting it in math or science, they knew they needed to do something in that area to try and help those students improve coming out of high school. From an economic development perspective, when I'm trying to recruit an industry in and they want to know what kind of workforce we have, I have hard data from a recognized third-party independent contractor that says, this is what you can expect from the workforce in Ashley County. And so that was a big benefit to me when I'm working to try and recruit new industry in. The other side of the story right now is participation rate among residents in the county. Most places are seeing a fairly low participation rate as far as the number of people who could be working versus the number of people who are working. Some of that is driven from the COVID era where they figured out a way to be able to stay home and not go to work. Some of that is driven from daycare. Some of that is driven from transportation issues. So there's a number of issues systemically throughout our society that we see that are hindering people who otherwise could be very productive workers from being able to go to work. So those are some challenges I think that we all face. I think the drugs is something we all face. And then these other challenges of figuring out how to get more people into the workplace is something that I think is a conversation that we're going to have statewide, nationwide, to try and increase the participation rate. We look at the unemployment rate, which is historically low. But then when you look at the number of people actually working, that's historically low too. And that's where the rub is. What can be done to increase the number of available, qualified, trained people to get back in the workforce and participate in our economy. And how do we do that? And that's just something that we're going to have to forge ahead and try to figure out how to do.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's one of the things that like with us in our broader discussion, every HR group should be talking about the Chamber of Commerce, and they should be talking about economic development, and use because I would guess there's probably funds out there that can help you develop certain things sometimes with certain programs like the NCRC. That's a good barometer for where your workforce is at. I like that. Like I think is that still prevalent as it was, the NCRC, or is it?
That's part of the ACT Work Ready Communities. That's the test they give. You walk out with an NCRC.
Yeah.
To talk about training dollars, I'm working with two of our local industries that are kind of technical in nature. What they do is very technical. And excuse me, we're working with two of them in our technical school, and we're talking with Manufacturer Partners Solution, which is a statewide organization that's run out of the Department of Commerce. They came down last week and met with one of those industries, and they're working with them to look at writing a grant to something called Office of Skills Development. And that Office of Skills Development grant, I've gotten a couple of times now for a couple of different industries, which we have done it in the past. But the Manufacturer Partner Solution can both write the grant and provide the training. So they provide up to $250,000 a year training grants to industries that qualify. And so we're working on doing that now for a couple of industries down here to try to bring those training dollars in. And our technical school will probably pick up some of that training, and then Manufacturer Partner Solution will probably pick up some of that training depending on what direction the industry wants to do. Of course, everything has to be industry that's going to work. If the industry doesn't drive it, if the industry doesn't buy into it, there's no use really in doing it. So we're working with two right now to see if we can forge some type of an alliance that will allow us to do that and utilize those resources that are available through Office of Skills Development and the other entities.
Well, it sounds like some, it's definitely trying times, but it looks like there's a little bit of something at the end of the rainbow out there. Of course, everybody on this call out here definitely is experiencing those challenges every day. And Mike, I know I appreciate your time today, and I thank you so much for jumping on here with us. And if you would send me something real quick, I want to send out a follow up to everybody real quick for you. Make sure they know who you are if they have any questions. Okay. Thank you, Mike Smith.
I'll email it to you, and anything I can do to help, I'm happy to do that, because anything that helps Southeast Arkansas, especially helps workforce development, is critical to us ever achieving the economic success we want in South Arkansas. And the more we do, the better off we all are. So we certainly want to be a part of that conversation.
Thank you, Mike Smith. Thank you, sir. Okie dokie. So that was I guess we got a little bit of information from that, like what we were doing. I think that a lot of probably being replicated in a lot of towns now, but we can't forget about that, of making sure we bring in any extra dollars that we can to help develop the workforce.
CT, that like the CRC that
it is
sell the rating. They use something.
Wage.
Use something different.
Wage was primarily, since it's revamped, we haven't gotten back into our corporate partners as strongly as we would like.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me? I just realized.
Can everybody hear Jennifer speaking? Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So now we're trying to get that. NCRC is somewhat used, but not a lot here in El Dorado. But right now, there's really not a whole lot to answer your questions, because adult ed is open to whatever, if there's things that we could do to help, especially for employment training for those who are low skill, adult ed would be a great option for making that happen.
They worked with us and another one of our partners, one of their HR people is on the line right now to create some, because the CRC can be very complicated. It goes into a lot of things, like with a lot of math skills and organizing skills. And adult education was able to break some of that apart to tap into the parts that we really needed. So adult education is indeed a great place to go for that because it can help you identify those. And the TAPE test, you cannot forget about the TAPE test. It's a great skill. Okie dokie. Well, that was Mike visiting with us. Apparently, Mr. Howard couldn't make it with us today, but that's quite fine as well. So what else we got on our agenda today?
Brad,
Ma'am, sir.
Brad,
Yes.
I'm here. I signed in earlier. Somebody let me in the meeting. I was having technical difficulties.
Oh, there you are.
Got you in.
I didn't even
Yeah.
see you. I'm so sorry. I just put my glasses on too, so I'm so sorry. So
No, that's all right.
okay, that's good. So now you are in the eastern part of our group here. Of course, South Arkansas goes all the way across. And Howard, represent Beaty. I appreciate you jumping in. I'm so sorry I didn't see you.
Oh, that's all
I'm
right.
But now, from your vantage point about from your seat and the windows you're looking out of on workforce development and anything that may be related to us, what are you seeing out there that could
Well,
help us?
I think that workforce services and workforce development's a priority. It's what we talk about in every economic development meeting that I've attended. And I think the focus from the governor is to work more in workforce services. We've had quite a few meetings at the Capitol with Mike Rogers. That's I guess the first chief workforce officer for the state under workforce services. So the governor, she went and kind of gave her vision and the strategy for workforce strategy for the state. And you can find that online if you want to Google that. Just Google Governor Sanders Workforce Services or Mike Rogers. But she had, I think there were maybe 4 recommendations in there, and it's kind of always kind of one that the Department of Commerce would take the lead, and that they would realign all their policies and practices to meet the employer needs. And that was, I think, priority 1. And then a recommendation 2 was that Department of Education, in conjunction with Department of Transformation and Shared Services, would help with the training and career pathways so that the students could learn the skills and the competencies that are needed by the employers. Again, I think that's where working with workforce services to identify what skills are the most important in your industry or to the employers, and then working with certifications, diplomas, or whatever those needs are for your employers. And then again, it all ties back to public schools and how you reward these schools for working and providing real world skills and studies. And certifications to the students. I think also in higher education funding, that's one area that I'm kind of started working on, is how we realign higher ed funding to enhance the value at our 2-year schools and our vocational education pathways. I was in Morrilton last week and met with the chancellor there. And I want to tell you, if you ever get an opportunity to tour that campus or speak with Chancellor Willingham, your eyes will be opened at what they provide on that campus. And the fact that, that's a public-private partnership where the majority of that campus was funded by donations from industry and contributions. I think they did a $10 million bond, and then the rest of that campus and equipment has all been provided by private donations to the school. So a really impressive campus to go and tour and to meet with. I think the third recommendation is to create a statewide portal so that folks can see what jobs align with their skill sets, and also what training areas that they need to work on, education so that they're job ready and they have real world skills. And what resources, scholarships, grants, and resources that are available to someone looking for a job. And then also a site where they can access what skills and their educational background and have on that site. So looking to have a portal that has all that information on it. And then the fourth thing is something that I've tried to work on, and that's regional focus centers. You know, with some of the aerospace and defense that we have in South Arkansas. You know, then we've got our firearm manufacturers in the state down here with Georgia Pacific in Crossett, the forestry industry and sector in South Arkansas. You know, and then with the expansion of lithium mining and other things, to have regional focus centers in the state. And then I think we're going to see a ramp up on our career and technical education programs, both at the public school and then at our 2-year and our career technical centers like Crossett and Warren and McGee. And then just a total realignment of all the state resources and the federal money that comes into the state to focus on those areas. So I think it's, I've listened to Mike a few times. He's very motivated, and I think that we'll see some great things come out of this workforce services and put the focus where it needs to be. So I think you've got a governor that understands the issue. I think Mike Rogers is focused on the issue, but the main thing is, you know, the open line and chain of communication as to what industry needs. You know, I think about that every time we go after an economic development prospect. You know, they all say build it and they will come, but we need to make certain that we have trained workforce and folks that can be trained in our communities. So that's about what I've got, and I can't add a whole lot. I'll echo kind of some. I heard what Mike said, and I'll echo what Mike said. I'm also in Crossett serve as president of the Economic Development Foundation. So Mike and my board, they do a great job. And if there's something we could help with, we'll be more than happy to do that.
Well, I'm going to tell you what now, we most certainly appreciate you dropping in and tell us. Now, I don't know what's going on, but I have heard of other areas. Let me just throw this at you, and it may not be your thing, Rep Beaty, but there's, like I say, I heard Batesville, and I heard Mike mention it. There's two things. He mentioned child care and transportation. And you know, and whenever you get down to the low, you know, unemployment rate we have now, that becomes a challenge for a lot of people. And I know that there are some communities working with politicians and chamber and economic development and corporations to do things. What do you know about the child care part? What has been? Have you seen anything going on with that? That's I don't know, if something. What is there anything that pops to your mind about child care, Howard?
Well, I know we work, and right now I am working on a deal for a child care in the Crossett area with one of our businesses here. Just looking at maybe some a grant or some funding to open up a child care center that would be for the entire community. It would benefit this business, but it would also open it up to the community and folks in the surrounding area to utilize. And there are talks along those lines, but I think, you know, it's early in the planning stage. Those talks around child care not only go with the development of the facility, but they also want to tie it hand in hand with an educational aspect for new mothers and those that are, you know, maybe first-time job seekers and other things that may not have family. So they want to go in with an educational aspect to it, and I think that's going to be the key to the success of some of these centers, is how they get that word out as to what resources are available to new parents and families and kind of go from there. I know a lot of the daycares and things around are at capacity. And if you're trying to grow, your community and increase employment, you're going to need more spaces for those children. Same thing with your boys and girls clubs and some of those organizations that have after school program. There's funding needs and issues there too, because a lot of those clubs are near capacity. So those are things that we look into, and we've had quite a few of the prospects I've spoken with in the last year or so that they mention child care and daycare for their employees as being a priority, and something that the community needs to lean in on. So I think a lot of that ties back in with the maternal health discussions that we're having in the state, and I think at some point all of those areas will come together. And my deal is, what better place to come together than focus on the family and economic development.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So all that factors into the discussions that we've been having.
It's not just some easy thing. There's a bunch of factors that go into it, is what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say. And of course, you got to tie a lot of things together to get to that point, probably.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it all goes back to that one common issue, and that's that green salve, a little bit of that money.
Money. Yeah. Yeah. Boy, that just slow it down or speed it up right there for sure, won't it? Mm-hmm.
It will.
All right. Well, Howard, we appreciate your time, and hey, man, if you're available sometimes and there's something going on, maybe we can get you to jump back with us.
Yeah, just shoot me a link to when you're meeting. Send me an email, and if I can join, I'll hop on and join. And if there's anything I can do for you, I think you have my contact. I'll give you my number. It's 870-304-6584. And if there's anything I can ever do to help, just reach out. Let's see what I can do. And the same thing, all your legislators that are in your area, I know they all stand ready to assist and help in any way, shape, form, or fashion. We have good folks in South Arkansas. We work as a team, and those men and women that represent you down here, they're there as a resource and an aid if you need us.
Hey, and it goes both ways. If you guys need us, let us know too, Mr. Beaty, Representative Beaty. We appreciate you, sir.
We just appreciate y'all providing jobs for folks down in South Arkansas.
Keep that machine rolling, huh?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Beaty before we let him go? Nope. Well, we'll get it figured out, Representative Beaty. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank y'all for taking it easy on me. No hard questions. Y'all have a good day.
We're just trying to get you suckered in, is all it is,
Oh, I understand that. I've stepped into stuff before, so I understand. But if y'all seriously, if you need me, just yell out.
We sure will. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye.
So he's gone, and we have a whole agenda we got to get to. We got 2 people. Yeah, that's good. But now what we got on our agenda?
Yeah, we've got several online now.
Yeah, I see that. Well, I tell you what, while we're getting everything queued up, I know we have some new faces here. One of our slides is going to be on new members. And I guess we could jump around some, but I see Rebecca Bailey there at the top, and well, I don't see her, but I see her name right there, and she's a new member, right? And she had some other questions too. I don't know, can we jump around on our slides? Yeah, let's get her, since she's at the top of my screen anyway. Rebecca, can you hear me? Miss Bailey, there you are.
I can.
Thank you so much for jumping on here with us. You had some really great questions. One of them was, like a salary survey, and I think Miss Jennifer created a little bit
No.
of something for us. I'm
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
I wasn't the one asking that. No,
You
sir.
didn't? Who
No.
did that?
I don't know.
Jennifer told me it was you. It wasn't me that decided that.
I'll take all the blame. Everything's my fault.
Who asked that question?
Great.
Who asked that question?
I did.
Macy.
It was
That's
me.
who did.
Sorry.
No, Rebecca is with JM Eagle.
I am.
She's you're a new member, and Macy is with Southern Aluminum,
Mhm.
and you are recently got your certifications through SHRM. Tell us about it.
I haven't taken a test like that since I had to take the GRE to get into my master's program, and it was a beast. And I didn't realize how much of a beast until I kind of got down to the last part of studying and had not allowed enough time. And it was a lot, because it was a lot of things that you don't deal with every day, or at least I don't deal with every day. And I haven't worked in HR in a long time either, so nothing was fresh on my mind. But a lot of questions about unions and international laws and things like that. But I downloaded an app that SHRM provides, and it's a study guide app that helped me tremendously because it had test questions that you could go through. And I had some of the learning systems. Someone else at work had purchased that in previous years, but honestly, that app helped me the most. And then I took notes from that and just went back over those notes.
Now, which certification did you get?
It was the CP.
Okay.
Certified Professional, I guess is what that stands for.
Do you know all of the certifications they offer to talk about it for just a second, or?
There's one more.
Okay. Like a
and I don't
senior
know
certified person? Is it a senior or something like that?
It's something like that. There's another layer, or maybe an executive. I'm not sure, but if I'm not asked to do it, I'm not going to, because that was enough test anxiety for me at this age.
At your age. Okay, so let me ask you this: how long did it take? Was it on a PC? You said did you ever go to any kind of a study group or anything like that? Or no?
I tried to. It was pretty expensive to do the study groups, but the time, I just couldn't find the time between work and home to commit to it. But there were a lot of things offered, some through SHRM, some not through SHRM, by certified people. I had to take it at a testing center. Just due to family situations, we played a ball game the night before, and so the closest one from there was Arkadelphia. So I took it at Henderson State, and it was like a 4.5 hour test. And you had one kind of intermission, but even if you needed to take a restroom break, like, the timer kept going. So you had the pressure, and you don't know anything until you get to the end of it, and then it'll give you a preliminary pass or a preliminary fail. And then you have to wait on your official results. So it's pretty stressful.
I guess it was, but it sounds like it was worth it though, to have those, those letters behind your name.
Yeah, it was worth it for my employer. Just what they're trying to do with our HR department. It was very important to them that our office gain that certification and have the expertise. So that was my main reason for doing it. It was their request.
Now, you had one other topic you wanted to throw out there, and I know we're getting, we got a lot of stuff to cover, but the other topic is the pay. Now, Miss Jennifer kind of created a little survey for us that she's going to throw out, and what it is, and to clarify what you want, but what I understood is that you were trying to figure out what the basic entry point of new people, entry-level people and entry-level jobs inside of companies. In other words, the lowest bottom dollar people paying.
Right. That's kind of, the majority of our workforce is going to be our direct labor. And so, I would be really interested in benchmarking local industries in our region for their pay, starting pay, and pay scales, and then also the benefits, just to make sure that we remain competitive in that field. And I think everybody could benefit from that information.
What's on the screen now, Miss Jennifer's throwing up are just some very basic, but now what to get what you're trying to talk about, and of course I think a lot of people may have to talk to their companies and all kinds of stuff. But now we want to keep it as blind as possible. But now if you have all those things that you listed, we need to get very specific with that and see like, employer matches and what benefits are available and such. So I think that would be a good thing for us to look at. Again, I used to do them for Great Lakes Chemical Corporation whenever they were them. And they'd want to know and kind of benchmark it every year with Raytheon and over in Magnolia. So just kind of the Golden Triangle region. Of course, it's kind of tricky when you're giving that away these days because everybody's trying to fight for people now. So, some people may or may not do it. But we put a poll up there and everybody's welcome to participate. I think it's anonymous. It is anonymous, so nobody's going to know where you're at with that. And I suspect that it may even be subject to change.
You should.
Yeah.
I will say the community college is the 11 to 13 an hour.
Yeah. Ooh, I tell you this, I'm going to tell you, it just as a recruiter, at 20 plus an hour, it sure is a lot easier to find people. You know what I'm saying? But you start getting down there at 12 and 14, it gets complicated. So there's that. And of course, I think that we could probably talk about this later, but I just want to jump on and congratulate you again on that, because I heard it was tough. I have never heard it compared to the GRE, but I get it. I took that thing before and it was, yeah. Yeah. What we'll probably do is we'll probably try to give the people the results as much as, yeah, we'll give everybody the results of all these polls that we do today, just so everybody can have it. And we're going to send a follow-up on this thing, kind of let everybody know about the meeting. And I want to send out Mike's information and Howard's in case anybody has any questions for them. It looks like several people have participated, which is good. And I'm going to tell you right now, none of this would be possible without Miss Jennifer Schroeder. Thank you so much for empowering our meeting, giving us.
You do. I'm happy to.
I wish that we could figure out a way. In my opinion, she doesn't think I could do it, but I want to figure out a way for us to help her, make sure she's a member. We'll figure that out, though. I have to get someone to help. This is what Antonio does. Sorry. All right, so so there's that, and we'll get that information, and I like it. I like those kind of questions. This is probably what we're all here for, is a network to see what everybody's doing. What kind of insight can you give me here? But we don't want to do anything to get anybody in trouble for sure. Okay, we can.
I'm gonna go ahead and share screen so that we can get to the
Yes.
slides.
Yes. And does anybody have anything they want to say right now? We're going to keep everybody involved. We're going to carry on with the program. We're going to get everybody talking at one point in time here or another, and probably just real quick here. Of course, you can see that this is our meeting for today. It is being recorded. Miss Jennifer's going to send out a copy to everybody so you can kind of see what's going on and maybe share it with people that may want to be involved. We had Representative Howard Beaty, Republican, and Mike Smith on here a little bit ago talking about workforce development and such. Okay, now this is another, people said they like polls, so get ready for another poll. Miss Jennifer has another one for you. And these are topics that are just very current with human resources, and there are 3 of them there. And of course, what this is, how I created these 3 topics, I asked my AI partner here on my cell phone. I was like, hey, tell me the 3 important things that I should tell or we should talk about for at least a couple of minutes in our SHRM meeting. And it gave us these 3 things, and it should be on that slide that it's coming. Yeah. Well, it was there a little bit ago, and everybody has a copy of this thing too, I think. It's in the presentation out. But what it is there's 3 things. One of them is talking about generative generative AI. And of course, AI is artificial intelligence, and generative means that it creates images or responses for you, etc. And of course, the three things that we put out there is generative AI. I asked it a question, it generated answers for me. Now, a lot of people are not early adopters. Some people are, some people are not. But we're trying to tease out whether or not we're trying to suss out whether or not you have used generative AI in your industry. Typically, now if you've even your personal, for helping planning and stuff your day would be great. I'm just curious as to how many people have used it. You have not. I mean, if let me ask you a question. Is it something about it that's weird for you? You just hadn't had the opportunity yet. Mm-hmm. What was you, Ms. Barbara?
Our corporate office is using some of the AI stuff, and I haven't really been involved with a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we know how it all works, so I haven't done a whole lot with it.
Yeah, well, like with us, a lot of it we can't even see it because the computer's doing it. Like we're going in and setting up where it's setting up where, like, if somebody applies and they didn't submit all their information or present all their information to us, then it sends a text message, hey, you didn't present or you didn't tell us what you did these years. So it's going back and asking to fill in the gaps of people. That's right. Somewhere else. Mm-hmm. I would guess that a lot of it probably is happening on that recruiting part, because that seems to the recruiting and getting people into the pipe part. Yeah. And then once you get, when some people like you are touching on right now.
I'm going in. To another bucket.
Yes.
You are to be considered or reject them or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it probably is occurring earlier, but it's beginning to be more and more a part of it. So that was one thing. So I asked it again. The three things. So it said the generative AI, number one, and number two was the legal landscape and whistleblower protections. There's a big case right now that's discussing the UBS Securities versus Murray versus UBS Securities, and it's supposed to be retracting from companies' rights. I mean, in other words, you can't retaliate without very specific things. We'll figure out how that goes. And then, of course, the next thing it said was this trend shaping the workforce and collapse of traditional career paths, etc. DEI, I hear that all the time too. That diversity, equity, and inclusion.
It's actually
Big push.
the acronym is actually changing, just in case you hear it.
What's it?
It's now JEDI, JEDI.
Okay, what is that?
Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Just FYI.
I've not heard that. I like that though. The JEDI. Diversity and inclusion.
Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion.
So what does it look like on people using it? So we've had 5 responses.
5 responses, 4 no, 1 yes.
Wow.
The whether or not we're, yeah, I did yours. I just said no for you. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it was on the AI.
Right.
Hey, this is Sonia Archer.
Hey.
Hey y'all, I'm a new member. But I'll tell you, in the defense industry, there's 0 using it on our computers. And so we can't use it in the computers, but I do know that just like for day-to-day use and things like that through our computer systems. But I know that in communications, they will plug in speeches and stuff to it sometimes just to see, if it'll come up with something different whenever you're doing a public speaking or something like that. It's never anything production related or program related, but I do know, as far as business at home, we use it. My kids use it all the time, for funny, just being funny, generating things and responses to letters and text and stuff just to be funny. But as far as work goes, no, we're not using it regularly.
What about your husband? Does he use it?
He does. He, I'll
I
tell you a
figured
funny story. He used it the other day at church. We have this meet your neighbor, and Bill used it to make the responses for meet your neighbor, and it was terrible and it was funny and we couldn't use it. But anyway, for things like that, yeah, they use it mainly for entertainment purposes at our house.
Yeah, most of the time I'm doing like generate an image of a brown and white donkey wearing a red bandana around his neck,
Yeah,
or something like that, just silliness.
yeah.
So anyway, well, I guess we can move on for this. This is what it does though. This is kind of stuff that is throwing out there. You can ask it questions, it responds to you. So and it's coming. And I've got one more little part to throw at this at the very end of the presentation, which it won't take long to get there, hopefully. This is the official business part. So there is another poll here, and of course I think that it is that we had minutes and stuff from last time, a meeting.
I don't think that we have minutes at this point.
Oh, we don't have them right now. Well, we got them somewhere.
I have them. I can get them to you guys. I just don't have them fully typed up, but I've got them.
Well, we are betting you are very, very busy. And I tell you this, with the recorded video of these things, it probably helps out some with that. Maybe.
And if you want to send them out, I can create a form just to vote online and say yes, they're approved or not. So when you're ready for that, I'll email that to you later this afternoon, and we'll go from there.
We're not going to get this. We want this to be fun, not stressful. Okay, so we don't want you to be stressed or anything like that. We'll figure out a way to get it done for sure. We want to. Don't worry, be happy. So we got that. So we'll attend to the old business. Now, situational awareness. This is a real quick little video. I know some of you may have seen this, but I think it's going to I'm trying to butter you up for a big ask in just a minute. So this is why I'm trying to get people to watch this. And if you can't watch it on your phone or whatever, if you're on that, that's you can watch it later, or you don't have to, or what have you. But it's pretty interesting if you've ever seen it. Okay. It may not even, if that's the worst part of it, may not even need it, But I'm curious, has anybody ever heard of this monkey business illusion?
You're supposed to be counting how many times, how many people.
How many times a person throws the white ball? The person in white shirt throws the ball. Yep, this would be
Try this again. Hold on.
Yeah, this may be one of those things you get to.
Hold on. Shared the screen wrong. Share. Screen this time. Okay.
So you're counting how many times the people in the white shirt throws the ball. Wow, it's cutting off some part.
It is. It's cutting off a lot. I don't know.
Well,
next time I'll have it different.
I got 9. You better not again.
but did you see the gorilla?
I didn't see the gorilla. 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 I d
Yes. That's the whole point. The red, it goes from red to gold. The gorilla comes out right there and does his little. I didn't see it. The first time I saw this, I didn't see the gorilla.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. But what it's supposed to show is a situational awareness. How much are you paying attention to what's going on around you? That's what it's supposed to show. And what I'm trying to do is sell this presentation that's going to be at a safety conference next month, which is going to be about situational awareness. So that's the big sell on that thing right there. We'll get to that in just a moment. And we're going to keep on moving through. We don't have to do truth is true. But now I do want to I tell you what, instead of doing two truths and a lie, there's so many we have a pretty small group today being on spring break, and I would love for people to come through. Specifically, we have some new faces there. I would love to go for people to introduce themselves. And we brought up Miss Bailey. I brought you up there mistakenly. So can you come back up and tell us about yourself? And there you are. I'm sorry about that, about the
That's okay.
mistaken.
But no, I actually used to work with two of these people that are on this meeting, Sonia Archer and Sheila Prim. So, because that was where I was at before. But yes, I've been out here at JM Eagle for going on 2 years now, so as HR.
Now, is that a well services group? What do you got? What are you guys?
No, they make plastic pipe.
Oh,
so
plastic
it's kind of
pipe.
like the PVC, except it's plastic. So
Okay. Okay. And how many people do you guys have over there with you?
we have 18.
18? Okay,
18.
good.
Yes.
Now,
Small.
who you giving who you supplying products to?
We go everywhere. There is 22 plants. Now we are the smallest one here in Magnolia, but we have distributors that we distribute them to. It's sewer, water, gas,
Okay.
you name it.
So now, real quick, with you showing interest in joining the HR group and such, and I know you've obviously had some history with these folks over here. What is your main group? What are you trying to do with HR group? You know, what would you like to accomplish from here?
Just more knowledge as far as the laws and everything, and how I can actually, be more supportive to my employees. So.
Yes. You just trying to do some development, make yourself better. Are you familiar with this ELA that's coming up next month? It's employment law. That there's a large, the state of Arkansas, and we have a lot of people going to it. All right. Well, welcome aboard, and we hope to get to know you better for sure.
Thank you.
We have Alyssa on here. Miss Proctor, you want to jump on and tell us about what you have going on?
Okay, just a minute. I'm trying to turn the camera on. Looks horrible. I'm with Potlatch Celtic in Waldo, Magnolia. It's Waldo address, but I say Magnolia. I've been here over 12 years in human resources. And Ella, yes, I love Ella. If anybody can go to it, if they need to.
Are you going to it this year?
I sure am.
I think that there's several people in our chapter going to it this year, so that's good. It sounds like it's a good experience up there.
I wish we could all get together for a few minutes or whatever, just to.
We're going to.
Okay.
Very soon. Okay, we're going to figure out a way.
Even if we could do it up there at Ella, just get together and 5 or 10 minutes and say hi.
There you go. Yep, that's for sure. Now we have somebody else that's popping up here. Who? That's okay. There you go. Let's see. Thank you for getting with us. So now we have some people on the phone too there, isn't it? What, can you tell who that is on that? There's Gail. Hey there, lady. You two, since y'all up there, you go ahead and do it.
I'm Sonia. It's nice to meet everybody. It's good to see Rebecca again. And I know Sheila and I know Rebecca Ives. And so, I know Macy. It's been a long time since I've seen Macy, but I'm from Magnolia originally. So I've always been around that area, but I've been at General Dynamics now since December the 4th, and I'm learning a lot. Gail's having to do a lot of training and getting me up to speed for over here at General Dynamics. Before that, I was at Aerojet Rocketdyne for 10 years. So happy to be a part of the group.
Welcome aboard.
I'm Gail Proctor, work at GD. With Sonia, when she says get her up to speed, she's pretty fast. I've been a member of SHRM for a long time, but I really think that Brad is knocking this out of the park. He's doing a great job. He has a really good radio voice.
Yeah, And Gail's just like, thank God I haven't got to do all that anymore.
Thank gosh. Yes, you're so right. You should be like our president forever.
Yeah,
But Sonia and I have to jump off. We got another call at 1, so.
Thank
It's
you
good to
guys for
see y'all.
joining with us. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Sheila.
She's on the phone. Sheila, since you already unmuted, you go ahead and talk to us for a minute. Tell us what you got going on.
Oh, not much, just working. Everybody know me. I'm Sheila Prim at Aerojet Rocketdyne. I've been here about 24 years in human resources, and we're just staying busy, steadily hiring from ESA. We had a big group on Monday, so we keeping Brad in business.
Thank you. You keeping me fed right now. I appreciate it. Sure.
Yeah. And we're glad to do it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And let me brag about Sheila too. This one over here, Miss Jennifer and Miss Sheila have both. I don't know. You know, Gail mentioned Brad, but I'm gonna tell you right now, these two ladies right here have been carrying the water for me, and I do appreciate it. Thank you, Sheila, and thank you, Jennifer. All right, now we have another phone number there that ends in 65. Who's that?
Hey, Brad, that's me, Bailey.
Hey, all right, good one. What you got going on? You keeping her busy over there in Camden? No.
Yeah, we are. We just did a big event with our high schools, our local high schools, and we're working on trying to hire quite a few of them. We're doing a lot with developing our workforce in that aspect. And we're also going to attend the Be Pro, Be Proud draft day in El Dorado at the end of April or middle of April, I guess. So we've got a lot of stuff going on around that.
Yes, you do. And you guys are always in the news over there, so I can just imagine that you guys are just kind of waiting around in it. But hey,
yeah,
thank you for all you do, for sure. And she's the big brain behind a lot of the SHRM stuff that we're gonna let her continue to do. Now who's David Vondran? I don't know that name, y'all. Who? Talk to us, David. Are you there? Or is that somebody else's name there, or who we have there? If I don't know, maybe. Oh, CNL Electric. Oh, okay. No microphone. Okay. Hey, welcome to the group, David. Thank you for joining in with us for sure. If you have any questions or you want to speak with any of us, we would be glad to speak with you. Thank you. And we spoke with Miss Rebecca. We spoke with Sheila and Bailey. So we're pretty good on everybody, aren't we? Except for in here, these two ladies. At least Dana. I think maybe Miss Barbara spoke a little bit, didn't she? What you been up to, Miss Dana?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Each department, and they're going to rewrite our safety policies, and I think it's going to be great. It's a lot of work right now, but we're getting there.
So I'm having to do like job analysis, learn every job. Oh yeah, there's a lot of detailed stuff there, isn't it?
So,
Yeah, the whole process. Mm-hmm.
everything it's supposed to be doing.
Well, and you're saying that, and it's really interesting because I was with a safety thing, and we're getting close to that safety slide for just a second here. But there's been new warehousing directives put out recently that have to do with safety inside of warehouses, and I bet you guys probably fell under that too, didn't you? Bet you probably did. I'm not for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. No, I bet, and there's a lot of acres over there to manage, and a lot of people. Yeah. Hmm.
I have about 77 employees. I just hired one of your guys on full time.
Good.
Day. One from Manpower, one from ESA.
That's good. That means that staffing is standing up.
You know what my problem is?
What's that?
Driver's license.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, drug screens also, but
Drug screen,
I have
yeah.
to have drug screens, but neither one can drive.
They don't have driver's license.
Yep.
Has DUIs and such.
One's driving on suspended license
Mm.
from not paying tickets, and the other cannot even recall what it was for.
A lot of people don't. Young people don't have the driver's license.
See,
That's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
How you make money. Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yes, it is. All of it.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. So what do we have next on that thing? I know everybody, we're clicking. Miss Barbara, did you do it? No, Miss Barbara's got to tell it, don't you? Sorry. You got to talk about it, what you got going on, don't you?
Well, we're not doing any major hiring. We just basically replacing. I'm mainly looking for an electrician right now, but that electrician I'm looking to do more than our maintenance supervisor is going to retire within the next year. So I'm looking for somebody, the electrician, that also has that possibility of potential to move into a supervisor position. And so we're trying to find that right fit. And so that's my main goal right now, which our recruiting does our trades jobs a lot, but we're working closely with her. And then we've done a little bit of entry level just for replacement positions and stuff, but we will also be working with the Big Crowd coming up in April. And booth at the May Hall Festival in May. We just like to try to get the Can4 name out there because people still don't recognize Can4.
They probably still call you AFP.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she and I have a lot to talk about. So since she's already talking, we can go to that meeting slide if you want to. Because that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that, as I knew I was going to use her for a lot of talking, and this is where I'm really going to need her at right here. Because she and I were on a phone call with the Sherm Foundation a week or so ago, a couple weeks, whatever it was, and we were sitting there listening to Miss Shane King talk about the meetings that everybody else was having. And I made a few notes, and you were listening to it. We were both going, wow, okay, so that's how they're doing it. And they're doing a little bit different than us. You want to talk about what they were doing? I put some things up there.
Their meetings are an hour and a half. They start out with business, the first 30 minutes, and then they go to a program, and they have some sort of program planned for every meeting. So they don't have just business meetings and just program meetings for speakers. They do a lot with getting the CEUs for those that are certified, which does help. And Sheila, I know we've done that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you know how to do that. But a lot of that is planning because you have to do that in advance of the meetings and stuff. So we do need to get better planning on what we're doing and what speakers or what subjects we're, planning our programs to be. But, I don't think, what else, Brad, help me remember.
Well, there was some, there was sponsorship and lunch and other things. You remember those specifics?
Yes, they do have lunch, but people pay. Basically, there are people pay to attend the meeting, which covers their lunch, covers, well, certain parts of it can go toward this scholarship that they, basically commit to the SHRM Foundation. A certain dollar amount of that money would go toward that. They also sell, I guess, what you call it, chances on the door prize. Someone will provide a door prize at every meeting. And if you buy $10 in tickets for that door prize, then that $10 can go toward your contribution to the SHRM Foundation. And some of them it's like $30 per person. That's basically the minimum that they request from each member each year to go toward the foundation. And then the whatever you spend on the door prize can go toward that. There are also different organizations, chapters that are committing to $2,024 for 2024 for a yearly donation from the chapter. So that's some things that we can talk about if we want to do, or how we want to do those things, or who would be willing to help commit to those things.
Yeah, she was, you know, I think that the number was like for lunch, they would, if you sponsored it, you know, corporate sponsor, they had like $75, whatever, and they could speak for 5 minutes or something like that. There was, like I said, the $15, I think that would cover the food. And they, one thing I wrote down on one of these notes, I went back and listened to our 3 conversation. I think I shipped it to everybody in our group so they can listen to Miss Shane talking to Miss Barbara and I asking Miss Shane questions. But she was not like, you know, they give $15, which covers their food and the meeting fee. And then if you want to be in on the door prize, you give $10 to the foundation or what have you. I think Miss Barbara was explaining a little bit ago. And, you know, that can go to your $30 per year. So, like, you can contribute to 3 door prizes, that those $10 would be, you know, put up to them. But anyway, they're what they're saying is that, you know, they want each chapter to contribute money to SHRM, what's it called?
The foundation.
The foundation, SHRM Foundation, which is, and somebody's leaving. I don't know if she's still here or not, but bye-bye, Miss Alyssa. She had to leave for another meeting, but I mean, they're wanting us to contribute money to it, and of course, the SHRM Foundation goes to scholarships, and it's basically to create new people coming into the industry, into human resources. So they're giving scholarships to college students and such. So it gives us to have some kind of impact upon that. But now we're kind of mixing and mingling 2 different things because they're both kind of the same thing. But the meeting format, you know, it really has a lot of advantages to it because there's a lot of business we have to do. There's a lot of forms and reports that we have to give to the state of Arkansas and maybe even to the national SHRM, or maybe it goes through the state. There's a lot of things going on. It's not been a high priority to me for the first quarter. It will probably be higher for the second quarter as I become more acclimated with what they're needing from us. There's lots of different reports and such. And of course, board members, I think that they have it set up to where we all have to contribute. You know, in other words, we all have a little bit of information and we have to contribute to it, theoretically. So anyway, I personally don't have a meeting. I have a problem with doing 12 months and having like at least a business meeting every month to handle all the things that we need to handle. Or maybe it should be done with the board. I don't know. I'm throwing this out there just so that we are making sure that it's on here so that we can discuss it and figure out a way we want to go forward. And I think that's the way Ms. Barbara characterizes that. If we want to be into a situation where we have CEUs for our people that are certified, that's a good thing. And of course, if we want to set it up to where we can get CEUs for when we get certified, then that's good too. And I'm sure that maybe Macy and other people that maybe already be going, they would appreciate getting those CEUs as well added to it. But that's all I have said about the meeting format. I know that we can just kind of table that and kind of use it as a discussion point moving forward. What time is it? Late?
1:15.
Yeah, we're late. We can run through real quick. Next month, there's Ella, and there's a safety group meeting, April meeting with the safety group here. Cam4 is heavily involved in that. In fact, I'm on that committee with Kelly, and you can see what is on that agenda. And there are some really great presentations. I know that the one at 10:50 is Kanisha Scott. She is a total hoot. She's totally funny. She's very informative. She knows about safety, but she also is in HR. In fact, Kanisha Scott is she's put in her application to speak at SHRM for later this fall. So she's a really good speaker. Now again, a lot of people are going to be at Ella for the month of April, and they may not want to have two different experiences. But I'm definitely going to go there. And of course, a lot of this could be just saying, look, if you want to go to it, you can. But we'll figure that part out. Maybe I don't know if there was this one of our poll questions, Jennifer? If people were interested in this? Okay. Well, we'll just go on to the next thing then. But it's really good, and there's a lot of companies going to be there with this thing. The email list, you'll probably find a lot of emails from me inside of your email package. But there was another one sent out today. That was an email list of all the current member addresses that we have. Please review if you have time. And I'm getting laughed at right now because it's Brad again. Yeah, I'm spending more time that, but I'm my AI and my room job. I don't know what's on that, but anyway, so if we haven't got your email address and we need to change it, if you get into the wrong ones, go into your personal one, or you want to change it to one that doesn't come to you, if you want to send it to your boss, put his or her email address on that list, and we'll let them know just how much email reading you do as a part of SHRM or hitting archive. Anyway, all right. The next one is
that we've already done.
We've already done. And this is what Ms. Barber was talking about a little bit ago, something with the SHRM Foundation. We're at the end of the first quarter. We may have to prorate that 2024. I'm out there to about 1,500 or something, but everybody has a presentation. You can look through it, and maybe we can figure out what we're going to do with it moving forward. The new members. HR Tree people, which is Glenn Faith and Jordan. I didn't see them here today, but we've had a lot of contact with them. I think Jennifer's spoken with them. We have Sonia, which we've already spoken with. Karma Williams Dickens. I didn't know where she was at. I didn't see. She's on the list, but I don't know. It didn't say what company she was with or anything. So I don't know where she's at. And then of course we have Miss Rebecca. What else we got? This goes back on the meetings. This is just more talk about the meetings and AR SHRM and how much work that we all have to do as a chapter, which is fun work, networking. A lot of it's not going to kill you, but it's just a lot of stuff. All right, next. I know we got to get people off here. Unfinished business. We still have some positions. We have chapter Ella. We did send $1,000. Miss Pat sent $1,000 for a sponsorship, so our logo and name will be on a few things with Ella. And then we're working still with connecting with people within AR SHRM and SHRM to get further along with the scholarship and workforce development people to figure out what we need to do or what we can do. All right, I'm done with that. Upcoming dates is the April meeting, maybe or maybe not. Ella, and if anything else you want to add to anything with the group, please feel free to email or call any of us anytime. There's that emailing list group there. Miss Dana says that she loves email and she needs more questions to answer during the week. But yeah, But anyway, so that's all I have for today's meeting. Is there anything anybody else has to say? I know we're getting close to the time here. We're about 15 minutes over. I want to make a move that we close, or can I make a move of that? Or you got to do it, Jennifer? Somebody can?
Somebody needs to.
All right.
Second.
She's second. Well, we've had some motions to close, and we've had it seconded, and we appreciate everybody jumping in with us. It's time to go back to sending emails. I'm going to take my email and privileges away. All right. Well, that's all I have. Does anybody else have anything else before we close out totally? I don't hear anything. Going once, going twice. Be blessed, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Thanks, Betty.